Welcome back to another Short Legacy League where we have Sultai lands versus Grixis Dredge. A huge thank you to the Patreon supporters who are helping the league and YouTube channel. If you would like to become a supporter, please click on the link in the show notes. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Welcome to Game 1 where Ezra's kept 5 and Lincoln's kept 6. Ezra's going to be on the play. This is a first for the Short Legacy League. I don't believe we've ever had Dredge on our channel before, so we get to have some good old-fashioned, old-school Magic, as these two used to play against each other pre-COVID, as well as now they're getting to play against each other now. So Ezra is fairly new to the league, but not new to Legacy in general. And his Grixis deck is playing 2 Putrid Imps, 4 Golgari Thugs, 4 Narcomoebas, I guess standard for this, 4 Stinkweed Imps, 2 Griefs, 4 Icarids, 4 Grave Trolls, 2 Hogaks, 3 Breakthroughs, a Careful Study, 4 Cabal Therapies, 2 Careful Studies, 4 Faithless Lootings, 4 LEDs, and 4 Bridge from Belows. I've not had the opportunity to play against Ezra yet, but I know from playing against this deck in Vintage and also in Modern, I do not have a great time playing against this. We've all seen Lincoln's deck before, so we won't really go back into that until we get to the sideboard so we can make sideboard decisions. But so far, it looks like Ezra's had a pretty good start here, leading off with a Faithless Looting early, putting some dredgers into the graveyard, and it looks like he has a couple things happening here with a Cabal Therapy on the stack. Looks like Lincoln's going to fetch in response to this Cabal Therapy being on the stack, getting a basic forest, and it looks like he's got a crop rotation as well. We'll probably see a Bojuka Bog immediately here. So yeah, a Bojuka Bog will go ahead and take out the graveyard. It's always a little tough to know when to pull the trigger on the Bojuka Bog, but when there's already a Bridge from Below in the graveyard, it's best to just go ahead and get that out of there, especially before that Cabal Ritual resolves and he's able to sacrifice that Narcomoeba and start getting some triggers off of it. Lincoln, knowing that early, go ahead and bogs him. So I'm not quite sure what Ezra named here, but Lincoln does have a Force of Will and a Luring Revealed of the 2 cards that could have been named, and he picks up a Brainstorm off the draw, and he's just going to pass it back over after playing an Underground Sea. Ezra not having anything in his graveyard at the moment. It does look like he has a Stinkweed Imp in his hand, though, so he could... that doesn't do what I think it does. Okay, Stinkweed Imp does do what I think it does. Putrid Imp is the one that I was thinking that he plays it and he can just discard a card to it and keep on rolling. So, my mistake on that. Looks like he also has a Hogak in his hand. Picks up another Cabal Therapy, it looks like. So, Cabal Therapy, Bridge from Below, and looks like a Stinkweed Imp are stuck in Ezra's hand at the moment. And he was so close to getting that Hogak down early. That could have been tough. I mean, granted, Lincoln did have the Force of Will in his hand with a blue card to go along with it, but he is just hitting every single land drop, and now he has a Crocus for that Hogak, if it ever makes it into play. Looks like Ezra does find a Faithless Looting. That's a plus for him. He will have to burn that last counter on his Gemstone Mine to cast it, but I don't think he can not take that chance at this point, even knowing Lincoln has that Force of Will in his hand. So, Secret Fall Therapy, probably going to name Force of Will in this, but we'll see a Brainstorm coming from Lincoln, and he's probably going to hide that Faithless Looting, or hide that Force of Will, and the Luring Revealed, since he does know about both of those cards. And that looks like exactly what he's going to do here, and then that's going to clear the way for Ezra to be able to play that Faithless Looting, and get that Stinkweed Imp into his graveyard, as well as that Bridge from Below that's also in his graveyard. So, not sure what he named there, but picked up an Assassin's Trophy of Beseiju. So, Ezra is going to go ahead and take advantage of knowing what's in the hand and cast that Faithless Looting. And pick up 2, and then he's going to be able to discard, I think, the Stinkweed Imp. Unless he found a Golgari Grave Troll, which he did. So, there's a Grave Troll in the graveyard now, along with a Bridge from Below. So, next turn, we could possibly see, alright, 2 mana here. What do we have? Oh, it's a Golgari Thug. Okay, we're just getting a creature onto the battlefield and be able to attack with that. Golgari Thug. Let me look and see exactly what that does. Let's put your graveyard from play. Put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. Okay, I guess that's okay. I guess. Not really sure, but whatever. Looks like Lincoln he's going to Besage you here, so he's going to go ahead and take out that Cephalid Coliseum with the channel on the Besage you, and he has a Wasteland in his hand to take out that Mana Confluence the following turn. Chooses not to do that. Got 5 mana coming and a Lord and Revealed, so an expensive Ancestral Recall. He's able to pick up that Force of Will, but no blue cards in hand, but he will be able to hard cast that if need be on the following turn. Ezra's going to dredge 6 here with that Golgari Grave Troll. He does find an Ichorid and another Bridge from Below. No creatures to... Well, he has a Cabal Therapy, so he could cast Cabal and sack it, and then that's 2 bridges, and then he can put the Hogak into play if he chooses to. So, casts the Cabal Therapy. Probably not sure quite what to name, but he's probably going to sacrifice his Golgari Grave Troll to pick up 2 zombies and then hit that Force of Will. So attack for 1. Let's see if he uses that therapy now, or if he's going to wait till the following turn. I think now would be ideal because the coast is clear for him to play the Hogak. I mean, there is a Karakas in play, so that is a little tough for Ezra getting that Hogak down. But he is going to take advantage of the Cabal Therapy, naming the Assassin's Trophy, and then he put something back on top. He put a creature back on top. Not sure which one it was. I missed that. Potentially a Narcomoeba, if that was in the graveyard. If that's the case, when he dredges, the Narcomoeba will pop again, and that'll be pretty cool. I probably missed that line when I was editing, but pretty exciting. All right, Blast Zone in play with 1 counter on it. We'll see 2 Ichorids come into play. And then see if we'll dredge that Stinkweed Imp for 5. And we're going to pick up a Narcomoeba there. Golgari Grave Troll, another Ichorid, and a Stinkweed Imp, it looks like. So Ezra's got some good business going on here. He's got those 2 Ichorids that can attack for 6 right now. When they die, it'll trigger, and he'll be able to pick up those. Well, I thought he had it. I thought he had a Bridge from Below. Maybe I'm not... Oh, yeah, there is at least 1 Bridge from Below in the graveyard. It's right underneath that Breakthrough. So those 2 Ichorids will die. Bridge from Below should trigger. Okay, maybe I'm mistaken and there's not a bridge in the graveyard. I could have sworn there was. So we got Lincoln copying his Blast Zone to take care of some zombies that could potentially come into play. And also rolls up his other Blast Zone to 2. So he's got a Blast Zone on 2 and a Blast Zone on 0 at the moment. And we have an Uro coming into play. If there is a bridge, then that bridge will die. But he does have the Karakas to bounce the Uro. Looks like he's waiting to see what card he puts into play. So alright, he's going to use the Karakas, bounce the Uro back to hand. He can play a second land for turn. And then play the Uro again. So he'll basically get 2... Growth Spirals here, and pick up 6 life as well, so that's pretty good. Also enough lands in the enough cards in the graveyard for him to be able to escape that Uro next turn as well, with the green and blue mana he has available to him. Wasteland comes into play, hitting that Mana Confluence, and then we shall probably see that Uro die. I guess there's not a bridge in play. I could have sworn there was. Maybe I'm mistaken. Got the 2 Ichorids coming back, exiling the Hogak and the other Ichorid, and then a Dredge from the Golgari Grave Troll. 1 Narcomoeba hit, and there's a bridge. Alright, so that bridge came just in time because the Uro has already died this turn. Lincoln over there just trying to make the sticky notes stick to the screen so they can't see each other's hands if that's something they desire to do. I gotta figure out a way to block that screen for them. Ichorids die. We get 2 triggers from the bridge below with 2 zombies, and back over to Lincoln's side. He can handle those zombies pretty easily. He can also handle those Narcomoebas as well. Let's see how he wants to handle it, though. I think he wants to put the Uro into play for sure, so he at least has a blocker to gain some life. So that's an escaped Uro. He'll get to draw a card, put another land into play. Blast Zone on 2 is still active, as well as Blast Zone on 0 is still active with the available mana he has. Finds a Waterlogged Grove, and he's going to pass the turn, leaving up the opportunity for either one of those. Ichorids can come back into play there, 4 CMCs, so the Blast Zones can't do anything to that, but he absolutely can block at least one of them with the Uro. We'll see a Dredge, potentially another Narcomoeba coming. No Narcomoeba, okay. Did find a Cabal therapy, so he could at least sacrifice that Ichorid after combat to therapy Lincoln to see if there's anything else in his hand he wants to get rid of. So Uro will block an Ichorid. That'll die. Another zombie will come into play off of the bridge. And Lincoln will take 5, 7, 8, 9 damage. Down to 3. Okay. He's going to choose the Cabal Therapy. He's going to name Golgari Grave Troll and target himself, getting those into the graveyard, emptying his hand, and he'll get another trigger from the bridge. For 2 zombies, and it looks like Hogak is about to arrive. There is still Caracas in play, so Hogak is not that big of a threat to Lincoln. In step, he can definitely bounce that back to his hand. He could also pop the Blast Zone for 2 at his end step, kill the Narcomoebas, and then also kill... Alright, let's see. We're going to pop that for 2, so 2 more zombies are going to come out for the bridge trigger. And then we still have the other Blast Zone on 0. He can take out all those zombies on his own. He's got some work to do still. 3 mana. And alright, so Blast Zone for 0 there, and attack for 6. He'll pick up 3 life to be able to draw a card. This game's not over. He needs to be able to get rid of that bridge that's in the graveyard at the moment. See a Brainstorm from Lincoln. See if he's able to find a way out of this. Picks up a Brazen Borrower, Swords of Plowshare, so he's going to be able to handle the creatures for the most part. Coming out of Ezra's graveyard and or from bridges. But he definitely needs to get a creature into his graveyard somehow to get that bridge out of here. He hasn't found a loam yet either. He could always loam back Wasteland his own bog and then rebog, but I don't think he has that option at the moment. Another 3 mana, taking a point of damage from that Waterlogged Grove. He's going to play the Uro. Alright. So that is one way for him to get rid of that bridge. Legendary happens. A bridge from below is going to be exiled. And he'll get to pick up 3 life and draw. He misses his draw on that, it looks like. We'll see a Dredge for 6 out of the Golgari Grave Troll. And finds an Narcomoeba and another Cabal Therapy. No bridges in the graveyard at the moment, it looks like. Maybe there... Actually, I'm sorry, there might be a bridge there. It's like he did dredge over a bridge. So he's back on the board with the bridge. Unfortunately, the Caracas is just too powerful for the Hogak. We'll see a therapy for the Narcomoeba. And he's going to name Stinkweed Imp this time, putting it into his graveyard. And an untap from Lincoln. He'll be able to definitely do some damage here. Picks up another Brainstorm off the draw. Attack for 6. Pick up 3 life. And Ezra is going to block, I assume. No, he's going to take the damage down to 5. Okay. Ezra seems to think he can he can work through this. So alright, so we have an Ichrid coming, a Dredge for 6, Narcomoeba trigger. Just not enough power there to really do what he needs to. So 4, which 3 can be negated pretty easily. So we'll see a plow on the Ichrid, putting him up to 3 life, 8. And he'll take 1 damage from the Narcomoeba. He does have enough mana to Brazen Borrower and play the Brazen Borrower, which is 9 damage. As we're just making sure he's not going to mill himself out here. He's getting very close to that area. So we might see an in-step Brazen Borrower, which is, yes, in-step Brazen Borrower, or sorry, a Petty Theft, and then a hard cast of Brazen Borrower. As we're just going to pack it up, we'll see in game number 2. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. The game number 2, Lincoln's kept 7, Ezra's kept 6, and he'll be on the play again in this game number 2. Now that we've had a chance to take a look at their main decks and what they can actually do, we can take a peek at the sideboards. Ezra has 3 Bavarian Macabres, an Oxvagonus, a Flayer of the Hatebound, an Ashen Rider, Ancient Grudge, a Ray of Relevance. I have no idea even what that is. It's a 1 white and a colorless, destroy target enchantment, flashback a green. So it's just an okay disenchant. And then he has 2 Wear Tears, 2 Dread Returns, and 3 Leyline of Sanctities. I imagine he probably brings in the Oxvagonus, potentially the Dread Returns, and the Ashen Rider, and I don't know what Flayer of the Hatebound does. It's an undying creature, and when it or another creature enters the battlefield from your graveyard, that creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. Okay. Yeah, that's wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty neat. He probably brings that in too, since it's not legendary and Crocus doesn't bother it. Lincoln's side, Containment Priest, I could definitely see that coming in. Oppo Agent, not a big deal. Plague Engineer, maybe. 2 Surgical Extractions, absolutely. Potentially the Veil of Summer. Relic of Progenitus, yes. Deafening Silence, no. And Pernicious Deed, yes. Maybe a Dress Down, but I doubt it. But the Pernicious Deed, Relic of Progenitus, and Surgicals, Plague Engineer, and Containment Priest are probably the best cards for Lincoln to bring in. We'll see how this game progresses and if any of those cards come to fruition for him. Looks like now that I'm looking back at the action here, Ezra has amassed a gigantic graveyard, or board state, if you will. He's going to Cabal Therapy, naming Pernicious Deed from Lincoln, and he does hit that, and that is gone. So we can see that's lit up on the screen in the red, and now we know what's in his hand, a Brazen Borrower and Alluring Revealed. He does have a Bojuka Bog, which is going to be devastating for Ezra here, as he just grew that graveyard very large, and it just disappeared. And Lincoln just showing him what was still in his hand after getting rid of the Pernicious Deed. Alright, I got to attack for 5. Lincoln still has some work to do. He is on a 3-turn clock. So he does have the Brazen Borrower. He can get rid of one of the zombies right away. Technically, he could play the Brazen Borrower the following turn and block the Narcomoeba. So looks like that's what we're going to see here. A Petty Theft on a zombie token. And it's going to go on an adventure, and Lincoln is now at 3. Alright, 4 power back on the board, so Lincoln is still on a 3-turn clock. Some people would say he needs a miracle. No double blue for that Brazen Borrower yet. We are going to see a Plague Engineer, and it is going to name Illusion. The magic gods have blessed me with future vision of knowing what's actually going to happen. So there that goes. And we're going to see an attack. Lincoln happily changes. his Plague Engineer out for that zombie token. And still, it's back on the 11 turn clock now. He's in good shape. Finds double blue, and Lord Revealed is going to be cast. He picks up 3 cards. Who knew Ancestral Recall was so good? And he found a Relic of Progenitus, and it looks like a Pernicious Deed as well, off of that Lord Revealed. Couldn't quite make out what that 3rd card was. We've got some heavy mana being played here, and it is a hardcast Icarid and an attack for 4. And no black card to get that Icarid back into play this turn, or the following turn, and no way to dredge either. So we got a Relic, and we'll see him at least take out 1 card. I guess as long as there's not a Dredger in there, there's no harm in leaving it open. Pernicious Deed as well. This game is well under Lincoln's control, even though he's at 7 and Ezra's at 19. I just don't think Ezra can pull back fast enough from this. He does have the Cephalid Coliseum, but does not have Threshold. Lincoln on a 6-turn clock now, but he does have that blocker that is available from that Brazen Borrower that is technically not on the battlefield. It is still on an adventure, even though it's untapped. And Narcomoeba is gone. We'll potentially see that Brazen Borrower come into play this turn and start this clock. And is that what happens here? Yes. All right, Brazen Borrower has arrived. And now Lincoln's in pretty good control of this, hitting that Icarid, and he can attack for 3. Yeah, and he has a Sword Splasher in his hand as well, so he can take care of that that little imp there. Let's see what he chooses to do. Another Lorn Revealed. Okay. Finds an Uro, another Sword Splasher, and a Blast Zone. Okay. Wow. Okay. We can just probably go ahead and wrap this one up, but we'll see how it plays out here. Lincoln, while only at 5 life, still in really good shape here. Mana Confluence for 1 damage on to Ezra, and we'll see a Cabal Therapy. He named Swords to Plowshare. He's in, okay, there goes 1. So I guess maybe he technically wouldn't name Swords to Plowshare here. Not quite sure what he would name. But there's an Uro, and another Plow, and a Loam in Lincoln's hand here. So we'll see probably that Uro come into play this coming turn. I don't know if he can hard cast it right out of the graveyard as well, or escape it, I should say. Relic on the Cabal. And let's see if he can do this Uro stuff. 3 from the Brazen Borrower. Waterlogged Grove draws him another card. It's like an Orcish Bowmaster there. Blast Zone on 1. And a pass. Okay, not trying to stun, I guess. I guess maybe he's holding the Uro back in case a bridge somehow falls into the graveyard from here. Probably be a heads-up play. Ezra wraps it up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.